Hey guys, welcome to Matt in Exile, and I got my friend John in Exile here today. Show. So, John, you got a video for us today. Why don't you tell us about that video?
Okay, this basically deals with the cartel, but we're not in Mexico. We're on the Mexican border with this. Cartels all over the place in Central, South America. They're all over the United States too now with cells. But this particular video today is coming from Brazil, from Rio de Janeiro of all places. In Rio, they have an area. They actually have two areas in this country. They're called favelas, or the slums. Kind of like what Watts used to be back in the 60s. And you cannot get, these are impregnable little areas. You can't get, police don't even go in there. Even with electricity, they don't monitor it there. The lines go in at the bottom of the hill, so to speak, and the people just run the lines up themselves. So, I mean, this is no man's land. And the cartels have taken this over tremendously. There's a couple, I have one on my site, on my channel of the video. And I believe this other one is pretty much similar. They're brutal, and they don't look like what we expect them to look like. They look like a bunch of kids on small motorcycles. I mean, we talk about motorcycles, motorcycle gang or something like that, and we think about the big Harleys and the Hell's Angels or whatever. These are younger people. These people are not, they're not big and burly. They look like a bunch of teenagers. But it's the point is they're brutal. They've got guns underneath their jackets. They're absolutely brutal, and this is very it's very depictable to see how they're shooting at these people in the middle of the streets. They're firing down from the apartment buildings, and the police are firing up against them. All involved has been the military, has been Policia Federal. It's just it's absolute mess, and there's people that are on the streets. It's been spilling over, but they did manage to get, I believe now they're up to 4. I heard earlier this afternoon that they're up to 4 major sites with drugs, guns, and what have you, and money, that they're talking about. This is going to go well into the $200 to $300 million bust, the largest ever in South America. And they've just been getting all this off the streets, and they're still after more people. And, but the cartel might call in for more people around from the country of Brazil and from Colombia, Venezuela. It's a hotbed, but at least we've got a good strike on them that we're able to get, dig a hole in them. And that's more drugs that are not going to end up in the streets of Brazil and or America. And that's a good note on everything. But it's sad. It's sad. Drugs, they find a way. And with the drugs, it goes with the prostitution. And along with the prostitution comes the kidnapping, the children, everything horrible that you can think of in your own minds. They're responsible for it. They can make a buck off of it. They'll do it. They're brutal.
Well, let's go ahead and show the video.
Okay.
20 pessoas morreram durante o confronto. Entre elas, Gabriele Ferreira da Cunha, de 41 anos. Durante a operação, policiais civis foram acionados para fazer a perícia na parte alta do morro. Houve confronto mais uma vez e um perito acabou sendo atingido. A todo momento, feridos e mortos chegavam ao hospital da região. Parentes e amigos estavam revoltados.
Eles vieram aqui para combater o crime, eles têm que prender, que é o certo.
A polícia militar lamentou a morte de Gabriele Ferreira e afirmou que os demais mortos têm envolvimento com o tráfico de drogas. Durante a operação desta terça-feira, armas e drogas foram apreendidas. Segundo a PM, o material estava com os criminosos, que não resistiram aos ferimentos. O clima por aqui é de aparente tranquilidade. Policiais militares reforçaram diversos pontos da Vila Cruzeiro. A gente pode ver viaturas no batalhão de choque naquele ponto. E aqui, um veículo blindado. Apesar da ação da polícia, 14 escolas suspenderam as aulas. Nesta quarta-feira, a movimentação em frente ao hospital de Getúlio Vargas foi intensa. Várias pessoas foram até a unidade hospitalar para identificar os corpos. A Polícia Militar reforçou o patrulhamento na unidade para evitar a fuga dos suspeitos que continuam internados. Apesar da ação policial, os moradores ainda continuam reféns dos traficantes.
On the actual video that I have, there shows a little bit more. It shows a lot more about the fire, actual live action on that. And one of the most telling things is when they come down with the gangs, come down with the motorcycles and what have you, they run into an ambush that the military is waiting for them, and most of the people that is in that one they're shot and killed.
If you want to see the rest of that video, you can go to his channel. I got the link down in the bottom description there. Check it out. It's quite illuminating what you're seeing in there and some of the stuff that you see that's going on down in South America, in Brazil.
Brazil is South America.
Yep. I just wanted to let people know what country.
Yeah, it's helpful. But that pretty much what you saw there, it's typical of what it would look like in Honduras or Colombia or Peru. This is what third world countries look like. Now there are areas, and that was Rio de Janeiro, if you believe it. Everything you ever see in America about Rio de Janeiro shows you the almost partially nude women walking the beaches of Ipanema and the Copacabana beaches and the expensive cars driving on the highways there. But no, this is Farville. This is at the bottom of the hills of the slums. And, it's like any other town. You've got good parts of Atlanta, Georgia, and bad parts. It's no different. But this is how these people live. They live from day to day, and what they can get for free is what they get for free because the jobs are not plentiful down here. That's why all the migrants are heading north. They want to go to America. That's exactly what's happening. And that's why America's doors are wide open, thanks to the administration. I mean, Title 42 or no Title 42, they're coming, and they're right at the border now. Trust me, it's nothing's going to change. I mean, even then, if it's like what happened with Mexico a couple of weeks ago when the cartel took over the government, pretty much, and that takeover is not like they came in and like when Castro took over Cuba in 1960. They do things differently now. They get to the president and the cabinet, and they say, "You run the country, we run you." And even like when they took the 400 soldiers, they put them up there on the border to protect the Tijuana. Here comes the cartel and chases them right out of town. It's pathetic to see these military type vehicles with armed soldiers turning tail and running from people in cars, the barrio cars. It's unbelievable that they have that much power. But once again, they're brutal, and their brutality is what got MS-13 so popular. And actually, some of the things that I'm going to be coming up with this week or into the weekend is I've got some new videos from my friend Oscar in Mexico. The cartel is getting in on some very strange ways. A couple of them have been caught at the border in Tijuana. They're pawning themselves off as priests and missionaries. They're coming in with jackets, with black jackets on, and the white collar and the complete full clothing. When they have them move if they can see on their arms, they're loaded with tattoos. In other words, you got the gang. They are very proudly put all that over their body, but they're coming around like you can't believe. They're figuring every which way to get in, because what's been told is for the removal, I should say, I'm trying to think of the right words, from the removal of migrants to be sent back to Mexico. It's pretty much a round robin. It's not who you are, because we know already the people that even families have been split up that weren't even standing next to each other. They grab two people. You go over in this line, you go over in that line. And they're indiscriminately picking people up because they only need a handful of people to send back in a plane once a month. Yeah. For Brazil, we just had last month, 350 people, one plane. That's fine, because every country is supposed to show, not every country, the United States is supposed to show paperwork for how many people were sent back through migration illegally. And so each country has an Oscar. I printed it, posted it up before 2-3 months ago, where the one from Guatemala was posted up there. 130 people were sent back when they claimed thousands were sent back to Guatemala. It's all a big sham. It's all a big sham. They're not putting anything back like they want the people to it's like saying there's a buffet with all you can eat, peel and eat shrimp. And you get to the buffet and it's like one little inch and it's all mushy and whatever. And it's just a clickbait. I like to use that word, clickbait, is what it is.
So they're pretty much not enforcing remain in Mexico like the Supreme Court told them to. They're not.
Well, it's they've been doing that even when they didn't have to. I mean, there's the Title 42 does not mean anything. It means absolutely nothing. It's kind of like a joke.
Yep.
If they would enforce it, if they said tomorrow morning, it's enforced, we're sending everybody back to wait in Mexico. Who's going to enforce it with 18,000 people a day coming across? Yeah. There's no border patrol. Most of them are gone.
Yeah.
And the ones that are there, they have to get the people through.
All they're doing is processing them and giving them their paperwork and sending them on their way.
Right. Yeah. They're clerks. They're immigration clerks now. Yeah. With guns.
Yep.
And it's like I said, the American they're hiding this very well from America. Very well, they're hiding all this. And it's just like with the planes for the migrants. We haven't heard anything. And today I just caught one of the videos that I put up was we've got another plane that reported the other day that we finally found a plane carrying migrants. Where to? White Plains, New York. And of course, we know what the governor did in New York was grant permission for 900,000 illegals to vote in the 2022 election. And where did the planes that we found today go to? Scranton, Pennsylvania. Wonder what's going to happen there. Matter of fact, what's it been? A week since the selection, and we still don't know about the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, these people are showing up there. It's very well. This has been very well thought out. That there isn't more people talking, because basically they're doing this stuff overnight in the early morning hours. They're hiding from everybody. It's covert operations. It's standard stuff. But America's not used to it. And they're pushing the narrative every time something happens in America. You know, they're deviating from everything that they don't want the American public to know. And they're talking about anything that they can. They're talking about just like even something small, which I saw today. The lefts were talking about Ivanka has left America. It's just like it was, what do you mean she's left America? Yeah, of course she did. She went on vacation. But I mean, anything to squeeze the narrative up there to like, oh my God, Ivanka's left America. You know, it's like they won't quit. They won't stop this. And this is, I mean, it's beyond humorous anymore. But it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Oh, I like that,
John. Another story I saw that I was interested in is Blinken had a little press conference, and he pretty much said that we're for the one China policy, and that means what Biden said when he was in Japan and doing his little tour out there in the Pacific. He was asked the question: are we going to defend Taiwan if China attacks them? And he's like, that's the agreement we made. So that's a yes. Well, they're walking that back now. And they're pretty much saying, we support the one China policy. Which, what do you think that China's going to say about that when they see that? Their reaction is like, well, good, because we're going to take it anyway. That's going to be their reaction to it. I think that's just making China look at it and be like, yum, yum. And they're going to go and get some. You know what I'm saying?
Who's going to stop them? I mean, everything that's going on right now in America, all the news is all bad, 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 bad. America's coming apart at the seams. Nobody's bothering with this. Well, might as well go take it. What else is going to happen? It's just, I cannot believe that with Blinken, though. I really can't.
Yeah. When I watched the press conference, it was 52 minutes. I decided to watch it, and I was amazed. Yeah, and the thing is, you know who was in the press conference in the crowd, and he even called him by name and said that he was an inspiration for him and everything. Mitt Romney was there. Mitt Romney. Yeah. So my reaction is like, okay, it's a uniparty decision on this one.
You with Mitt Romney uniparty? Yeah. I think Mitt meant to go to the restroom and walk through the wrong door.
Yeah, I don't know, but I was like this. My first reaction. Well, I don't know if you noticed, but Blinken and Mitt Romney, they kind of look alike anyway.
You know, come to think about it, I think you're right. I think they do.
They look a lot alike. I was like, that could be his brother.
Maybe they're a brother from another mother.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, Romney's family is Mormon. They like having sister wives.
Good thing William's not on tonight.
Yeah. I don't even know what he'd say at that. He'd just start laughing, probably. Be saying something.
I know. He'd start laughing incessantly, and we just have to be like, "Don't say it, William, don't say it."
Yeah, Mr. 12, Mr. 12 did it.
What is there allowed to have? How many wives is it allowed to have? 13 or more? Is it 13 a cap, or is it as many as you want?
I don't know. I don't know how that works. I
imagine we need to talk to an expert. We'll talk to William next time we talk to him.
Yeah, we'll talk to him next time.
He should be an expert in that category.
Yeah.
But I still, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Beauty before age.
I don't even know what I was going to say. Go ahead.
No, it's the point of we really have to start bearing down and paying attention to what's going on, because we still have to make big leaps in getting ahead of what's been going on because every time they get even something small, they build it up to being like something major. For instance, I believe there were 90 of Trump's endorsed people ended up winning, and only like 3 lost.
Well, he's at 106. He's at 100 win and 6 loss.
Okay, so but still, what do you think about that? Oh my God, it's 94% if you go at a single stroke. I mean, come on, that's still an A in anybody's book.
Yeah,
and they're still build it up to be something like horrible. I mean, you can't pick a winner all the time. But and once again, you don't know if the cards are stacked against them in those particular races. I still don't like the idea in Pennsylvania that there's a week. I mean, after everything that's been going on.
Well, by what I saw, it's going to be not until June when they know the winner, because they're doing a recount.
Okay, so the recount. I mean, we were really supposed to have a recount in a primary. No.
Well, what's his name? McCormick is suing. There's a lot of lawsuits getting thrown all over the place in Pennsylvania over it. Like McCormick, he wants to count everything, no matter what anything looks like, if you know what I'm saying. And obviously, the Republican part, the RNC, and also Oz, they are like this. Look, if it's not right, it's not right. And McCormick's attitude's like, no, it needs to count. But the thing, it's just more ridiculousness that you're seeing in this, like what happened in 2020. That's as far as I can go with it.
Yeah, well, you take a look at Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a landslide if you ever knew about it. I mean, I don't care who you are, Democrat, Republican, you can be a communist, like Putin and what have you. If you're from Alabama or you're from Georgia or any of those surrounding areas that had to do with the SEC, Herschel Walker is one of the greatest football players that ever played college ball.
Yep.
And but yet the Democrats still try to pick a small little window there and say, like, well, we're really not too worried about him because he doesn't articulate himself very well. I beg to differ. He's soft-spoken. I've heard him speak before, but he's smart enough to know why should he waste his energy and whatever on blowouts and talking bad about somebody else. He's not that kind of a person. And I have a feeling that we're going to see a lot more action from Herschel when things start to heat up, once he wins the election, whatever. You're going to start to see a different Herschel Walker, and they're going to think that this is Marjorie Taylor Greene reincarnated in a different Senate seat, or Congress seat.
He'd be in Senate.
Yeah, Senate. I mean, it's just, but I'm still, like I said, and the other part that bothers me too right now is that we still have to wait on till August 3rd for Arizona for their primaries.
Yeah,
I believe it's August 3rd. That's somehow or another that doesn't quite sit too good. Having a primary that close to the election, that's only from August to September, that's only like 2 months away from. It just doesn't sound as very. It doesn't sound to me personally. I don't care who's going to be in the race, but if you've got your Democrat or you're a Republican, you want to win your prospective primary and then get yourself the other rest of the 6 months to be able to say, hey, I'm John Doe from the Republican Party, or else I'm Susan Smith from the Democrat Party. This is what I stand for, blah, blah, blah. 2 months is not much time to get across to the public.
And then what if you have a situation like you do in Pennsylvania where you have to wait until the next month to find out who won because of how close the election was? You know, it's crazy.
It's like I said, nothing really surprises me anymore, which goes on with what's been going on with this country. And it's just like every time something bad has happened, they want to blame it on us. And it's just, enough is enough. When are they going to start to take responsibility? I mean, every president that I've ever known through my lifetime has always stood up the same thing. Anything that happens underneath my presidency, it's on me. And even Biden had said this. It's on me, but yet he's not saying that anymore. He's not saying it's on me. Whose else is going to be on? It's just like what the borders are. It's a joke. It's got to be a joke because she's not been to the border. And all those, I mean, with all the press pounding her and all the people pounding, hey, where's our czar? Our borders are. With all the pressure that was put on, still not 1 inch did she move toward going toward the border or even speak about it. But I've never been to Europe. I still remember that loud as a bell.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. Actually, I think the reason she didn't do that because she thought in her mind it's a political trap for her to go down there and do that because they're not going to do anything to fix it. So why go down there and actually say we're going to do something to fix it? You know, that's her opinion on it. And
you're exactly right.
I can't say I completely blame her on that one.
Well, I'm agreeing with you 100% because if I'm not going to do something about it, why bother going? Why? In other words,
I mean, he hasn't went there either.
I doubt if he knows where it is.
Yeah, exactly.
But they also, back at the beginning of that, they wanted to keep away from those. What do you call them? Can't say the word. Begins with the C.
Oh, yeah.
In the words where the children were kept.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted to keep. Of course, some of the social media got a hold of some. They took some pictures, but boy, were they chased out by the feds real fast.
Yeah. So, you had to have Ted Cruz and some of the other ones filming that stuff from their phone on their camera to actually get an idea of what was going on in there.
But there's one other thing, too, that I want everybody out there that's listening to us right now to stop and think. Some people say, okay, we're America. We got problems. Who's running our country? We don't know. There's one way that you can surely tell what has happened to America. We're a land of laws. That's how we're governed, by laws. The states govern themselves, and the federal government was created to serve the states and to take care of everything else. Keep in mind, all those people that are still held without being charged in Washington, D.C. You only find that under one type of a regime, and it ain't a democracy. I'll tell you that right now. Think about that. They have not been charged. That's like if you go out to get a traffic ticket tomorrow, and the police officer says to you, get in the car, get back in my car, handcuffs you, takes you to jail. And they don't bother. You can't even talk to a lawyer. Some have talked to lawyers, but no. No, this is reminiscent of an entire different society. And this is who is running our government. So those people out there that think that there can't be next, it all depends upon how the other side views what you do. If they view you as somebody that's detrimental to their being, you're gone. Just like here with the tube. They don't like what you say or what you mean, you're gone. That's all there is to it. We have to be so very careful in what we say and how we say it. There's some people out there like Salty Cracker. I cannot understand how he's still on YouTube. He is out there just pounding away for us. And I'm thinking, my God, I go like, oh, I can't believe he just said that. I'm waiting for the screen to go blank any second.
Well, I think it's because the way the algorithm's set up and how fast he talks and how many cuss words he uses in his sentences.
Oh, he swears all the time.
It messes with the algorithm where they don't know what he's saying. They completely have no idea.
You have no idea.
I think that's what's going. I think that's also what. That's why William does what he does. The problem is when you look at both of them, they have ADD, and whenever they're doing their stuff, it's like they mess with that algorithm by the way they speak and how they switch the subjects. They're all over the place, and it messes with the algorithm to the point where they don't even know what they're talking about. The algorithm doesn't. But me and you, we can pick it up because we're like, did you just say that? Yeah.
It's sad that we have to do it that way, but it's the only way we, in other words, if we don't, we get canceled, and we get canceled, we don't come in. There's some very good people out there with channels that are no longer elsewhere. They're on Twitter or they're on Rumble, and even then, they're not getting out their message. Periodically see some of these guys coming on YouTube, and they run their 30-minute or 1 hour podcast, and then they tell everybody, boom, this is going to be gone, and they cancel. They shut it down right as soon. So in other words, if they're not caught right away within that hour or so, it's gone.
Yeah.
That's like Jovan Pulitzer. He's I'm sure that hit the algorithm when bing, Jovan's name. But it's the point of we haven't seen him in months, and yet he puts a podcast out 2 times a day.
I'm about to say he's all over other platforms. So
yeah. But it's still this right now is we're on this because this is still an important platform for us to be on. This is where it's easier, and even myself, I've got the Bumblebee. I'm a member on that, but I still haven't set it up yet because I have to figure it out. And it's not because I'm totally stupid. It's because it's all in Portuguese. Even though I can speak the language, I can't read it. That's a different story. It's not like reading Spanish. Spanish I can read. I can read in that. But Portuguese, no way. And it's even like here with the computer when I'm talking with you. Everything that I see has got different icons, and there's different words. And if I don't recognize the word, I don't know what to do. But eventually, things will be different also too with the new platforms. But it's still going to be the tube, and who knows? Maybe they'll have a new owner coming one day too.
Yeah, maybe.
It was.
Well, I know they're talking about supposedly at some point the government's talking about breaking up Google.
Yes, I heard that too.
Yeah, which would be a good thing because they own YouTube, they own several other things, they own a huge part of the cloud with Amazon. And go ahead.
It's that's kind of funny. I remember back in the day when the government came out and said about AT&T, they said, no way, guys, you're not getting a monopoly. We're breaking you up. Now, because something is a landline or whether it's in the air, invisible, whatever, still to me, it's still a monopoly, and it's still something that needs to be regulated. I mean, everybody says, well, we don't need the government regulating. Well, for those people that think that we don't need the government helping out with the regulation, guess what? You're watching regulation right now.
Yeah.
It's because it wasn't taken care of back in the day when they should have said, hey, we've got eBay, we've got Amazon, we've got Twitter, all these new things that are for these new generations, something that wasn't there 20, 30 years ago. We need to take care of it a la AT&T style. And they didn't do it. And now what are we doing? We're paying the price for it. So sometimes Big Brother is better.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to like communications companies, the media companies, and also these platforms like this, they've all joined together. You have how many media companies you have in the United States now?
No,
5.
No idea.
5. Yeah, 5 of them.
Comcast, Spectrum.
No. When I see media, actually, Spectrum's owned by I believe Warner Brothers or something like that. But when I see media companies, that's like Disney. They own.
Okay.
There's 5 altogether, and there was 6. But 20 years ago, if you look how many media companies there were in the United States, there was 50, and they bought each other up like crazy. And then you're having the same thing happen with these platforms like you got Facebook, who's bought Instagram and WhatsApp. You have Google bought YouTube, and they're starting to they're starting to take each other and merge together in order to make it easier to communicate with each other. Like like YouTube and YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, at some point or another, I could see them actually all merging together because they communicate with each other about how they're going to actually do the algorithm to make sure certain people aren't lifted up higher, if you know what I'm saying.
We'll see one of the situations like YouTube, WhatsApp, and all that. In America, I believe I had AT&T at one time, and Boost, I think, was another one I used for my carrier for my cell phone. Most of the rest of the world, and I'm talking about the Philippines, I'm talking about in Asia, I'm talking about in South America, Africa, they use WhatsApp because it's free. It's free. And that's where they've gotten so popular around the world is because of that. They use the WhatsApp is to call and talk to anybody. And the other part about YouTube, I don't know if I mentioned to you before, about YouTube is charging here in Brazil now. Yeah. We pay $20 a month to upload on YouTube. That's a lot of money.
How much you don't have Rumble, so you don't know how much you would pay to upload on.
I don't know if Rumble's a pay service or not.
Okay.
I downloaded the app. That much I can tell you. I downloaded the app and it's sitting there. I can go. I've got to figure out what it is when I can help somebody help me translate what it says on everything. But obviously I've got the app and it's been through, so I have an account. So I don't know whether is it being charged in the United States?
No.
So obviously it's not being charged. I don't have very many others. I mean, it's just Facebook. I haven't looked at in years. That's where I had all my big problems, and I could care less about Facebook. But also too, I put an application in for Twitter and that new one for number 45. Mm-hmm. I'll be beginning to try to get that app too. But got to be careful down here. Things are a little tight. $20. It used to be something I used to leave as a tip at dinner in a restaurant. Now it's a whole month's worth of downloading. That's just it is what it is.
YouTube is actually free here to download.
Well, that's what I was here. I had first heard about 2 months ago. There was a rumor. That was a rumor that the government in Brazil did not want you. They were gonna ban YouTube in Brazil. I thought, how can you ban YouTube in Brazil? You're going to cut it off from the rest of the world. None of us paid any attention and nothing happened. But then just last week, I was trying to download, and I'd go one day and I tried to download and it said, you can't. I go like, did I get another strike? It didn't say anything about the strike. And then I tried my one daughter, I tried to put just speaking like we're doing now, one of those videos, and it was able to post. I'm going, what is this? I can't post the other video that I've got. And then we found out because it opened up another window and stuff like that. And it said, hey, you got to pay. It's cost $20. And that's when we found out about it. And it's just like, who knows? Who knows what's next? But I mean, there's just so many different things that are just going on. And it's we really don't know who's talking to who around the world. We don't know what things are being done behind our backs. Who's planning on us? It's just everything is totally out of control right now. And another 2 more weeks, I go back to Brasilia, and I want to see what I can find out, some more things from a few other people. But it's downright scary is what it is, because everybody has fear of the unknown. Yeah. And the unknown is scary. At least you can face, if you're getting ready to go into battle, so to speak, at least you know what you're facing. But when you go into the unknown, you don't know what's coming up. But,
Well, if you don't have anything else to talk about, we can go ahead and end the show, unless you have something.
Well, that sounds good to me. Okay. The only thing I can mention before we end the show is, anybody wants to leave comments, I'm glad to respond to the comments or answer any questions. I had somebody ask me about people want to know more about Brazil, and I'm going to start in another few more weeks, try to get out a little bit and start to show some of what it's like, the people living. There's some nice things here in Brazil too. Waterfalls, and it's what people basically go for, is things that are free. And, but be glad to answer the questions. I mean, the more people ask, and if we have the answers, the more we can answer them, and the better. It's better to be well-armed than be unarmed, so to speak.
Well, guys, we're going to end the show. I hope you enjoy. Go check out John, American in Exile. I have his link down in the bottom description area. And please hit like and subscribe on his videos. They're really good, especially the last two. I've seen them. They're good. I like them a lot. John, you got anything to say before we leave?
Not much. The only things I can think of a mention is we got a good team here. I mean, William's not tonight, and we've got Dave from Cali, Mike, and Matt, of course. I mean, this is we're here for you guys out there. This is what we're here. This is what we're doing. We're not making any money at this. This is, especially Matt. He's, I mean, my God, Matt is just, he's the work dog here. I mean, he's doing everything for everybody, from what I understand. And it's just, yeah, my hat's off to you, Matt. I really is, because, like I said, I came with you guys because I want to make a difference for America. What kind of credit do I need? I'm an old man now. I'm 72. As long as I can make a difference and keep our country there, that's what counts. That's what counts.
All right, guys. I will talk to you later. Thank you, Nance Dunk.